welcome to the 5 Minute Crochet Podcast. I'm Ellen Gormley, and today is Thursday, the 5th of September, and I am not feeling 100% today, but that's okay. We are going to power through. I made it after all. I am a little bit late, but I don't have a client just yet, so we've got just a little bit of wiggle room, which is good. Okay, so yesterday I wasn't feeling it either and did the video, the 5 Minute Morning Crochet Podcast, with the camera pointed downward, and then it looked like I had it upside down. So thank you for your patience with that, because I couldn't read the comments, because anyway, it was an experiment that went awry. So now we know, now I know that that's not gonna work. Generally when I film like tutorials and stuff, I flip the camera the other way, and I guess I didn't know if I could do that on a live, but it doesn't matter because we're here today. So yesterday I was telling you a little bit about, top of the morning to ya. Thank you, BJ. Good morning. I was, yesterday I was working on this, and I want to keep this up here so I can use it as my thumbnail. But I was working on this and on my lap, and I'm loving it. I absolutely am so enjoying this pattern. Look how gorgeous that is. And the stitch definition is like the epitome of what I love about crochet. So pretty. Good morning, Linda. Thumbs up. Thank you so much. So now I'm in a conundrum, because this is what happens to me all the time. I love it so much that I almost don't want to do any of my other projects. So I had to really force myself to leave it up here. Yeah, wishing you a beautiful day as well. I had to leave it up here next to my desk, because this is supposed to be my mindless in the middle of a meeting project, and not my carry it around the house and do it every spare minute project. And now another conundrum that I have is thank you, Marie. I love a solid color, beautiful stitch pattern. I just do. And so now I'm thinking, oh, should I make this entire thing like one color? Should I make it solid? How gorgeous would that be to make it just all one color? And then I'm like, but my original plan, of course, was to make it like a scrap blanket. So I was going to do like 3 or 4 rows of the gray, and then like 1 row of blue, and then 3 or 4 rows of gray, and then a yellow. Start a second one multicolored. Oh my gosh, Brian, brilliant. The stitch pattern it's a Tunisian 2 double crochet together. Yeah, I love Tunisian too. I do. It's a 2 double crochet together, offset like bricks. Hello, welcome. So Brian, you're right. Why can't I well, yeah, I have enough hooks. So I don't have as many of the promotional plug here. Sorry. I don't have as many of the Denise interchangeables that I have of traditional hooks, but I do, because Denise Interchangeables has been so good to me. And there's an affiliate link for Denise Interchangeables below if you are interested. But I think I have another one that I have another cord long enough where I could, like the greenery blanket. I'm sorry, I'm just not feeling great, so I'm sorry I'm like swallowing and not doing great. But like the greenery blanket with like all the different colors with very few neutrals, if any, I could do back to back to back to back random colors. And if I did that, I might take a page from my mom's book. So years and years ago, you're wanting to design your own cocoon cardi, and that stitch would be perfect for the yarn. Ooh, nice. Okay, I ought to make it into a video for you. I don't know if I've already made this one into a video. Good morning, Bonnie. Good morning, BJ. Yeah, Could someone starting in Tunisian try this? Absolutely, absolutely. I'll endeavor to make this the next video for you for next Wednesday then. Good morning, Valencia. So yesterday, you saw a video of a variety of Tunisian stitches, very common stitches, and how they compared to one another, how their gauges were different, how some curled, some didn't. So you can go back and watch that video if you're interested. I'll endeavor to make this one the next video for next Wednesday. Okay, so let's plan on doing that. So yes, Brian, I have enough hooks that I could make a solid color, the gray one, continue this and make this. And you know how gorgeous it would look with a black border? How modern would that look? What do you think? Like, or a charcoal gray border? And I'm thinking like a corded border, almost like a knit cord. I forget what that's called. Maybe it's just called a knit cord, like a roll, almost like a rolled border. What do you think? Let me know. Okay, so, but then I could start a second blanket. That's tempting, Brian, of just the colors. And as I was about to say, and then I got sidetracked, but I'm coming back onto track. My mom years and years ago was an I-cord. Yes, that's the word I was trying to think of. Yes, kind of like an I-cord, or even like a knitted rolled cord. Yes, Linda, yes. So like I remember a shaker knit sweater that I had that I absolutely adored when I was in high school years and years and years ago, and it was like butter yellow, and the crew neck had a little rolled collar, and that's kind of the texture that I'm thinking of. So I don't know, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out later. um yeah, I'll think about it. But then my mom years ago was in her knitting phase, and she liked to dabble in all things craft. So sewing, candle wicking, knitting, crocheting, embroidery, all of that, macrame, you know. So during one of her knitting phases, she made this really ugly, sorry mom, really ugly blanket. Yeah, I-cord, but even a rolled edge of simple stockinette would be drapey and light and keep the edges loose. Okay. It was really ugly, but she took like all of her scraps, yarn, and she just knitted and garter stitch until she ran out. And then she did the next color and knitted and garter stitch until she ran out. And then so on. So there was no rhyme or reason. There was no like color scheme. There was no planning. It was awesome. It was I think I'll have to ask my dad if he remembers, but I think we even called it the ugly blanket. Gosh, that was a lot of years ago. That was 40 years ago. I think we even called it the ugly blanket, but my dad loved it because it was solid garter stitch, and it was very, very warm, and it was huge. So he really liked it at the time. So anyway, maybe I should do that in the spirit of, a nod to Grandma Carol, and not my grandma, my mom, who I always refer to as Grandma Carol to the kids since they never met her. That maybe I should make a random generated a random generated color rows of color until I run out of the yarn, and then add a new one. I'm trying to remember if my mom even changed rows at the end, or if she changed rows in the middle. Yeah, she may have even changed rows in the middle of the row, which, aghast, is like sacrilege. But at the same time, it's like, if your whole point is to use up yarn and to use up scraps, you want to use up the scraps, not have like 10 yards of something because you couldn't make it all the way through the row. So she may, I don't remember, she may have changed colors in the middle of the row, which is an efficient use of yarn. So it has its place. In general, I like to change color on the end of the rows. whenever possible so that I can hide the ends in the edging. So, I don't know. We'll see. It might be really ugly, but who cares? Maybe somebody would love it. I used to think that all the time when I was editor of Crochet Magazine, that I kind of always tried to put in one project that I personally didn't love, that I felt like was technically really good, but wasn't really my taste. But I wanted to make sure to appeal to other people and not just my taste. So I would try to pick one that was a little less my taste, hoping that it would be like, yes, for somebody else. So, okay, that's the magic knot concept terrifies you. Yeah. You had an ugly crocheted blanket and the dogs loved it. Your sister threw it out. Well, I could always donate it to an animal shelter. You love my ugly blanket idea. It's kind of like the Franken blanket that is still like taunting me from over there. I don't know if you all remember me talking about the Franken blanket, but I get overwhelmed easily apparently. I'll have to process that. Because I just have hundreds hundreds of swatches. Like hundreds. And so to put them all together in one blanket is feels kind of daunting, but making them into small blankets feels daunting too because they're all just like little pieces and they're puzzles and you got to make them fit. Um, but I'm still working on the Franken blanket, which is all of the random swatches from over the years, like crocheted together into one patchwork kind of blanket. And talk about ugly. It might be the ugliest crocheted blanket on the planet. Now, each little swatch is gorgeous on its own. Well, I don't know, gorgeous might be a stretch, but putting them all together is a cacophony of things. An ugly blanket uses up lots of scraps and saved yarn from being wasted. Absolutely. And you know what? Somebody could use it. And you've heard me say it a million times. I'll say it again. One of my favorite things about crochet is that it is also functional. So no matter how ugly it is, it will still keep you warm. And that is cool. That is so cool. It's such a miracle that, like, oh, I get to make something, have some fun, and it functions. So gardening is like that, cooking is like that, but cooking and gardening gets consumed, but blankets are forever, especially in acrylic. You started making squares from minis to eventually make a blanket, but I don't know if you have enough years left. Aw. Um, so yeah, so gardening and cooking, the product gets consumed, but crochet, the blankets are forever or for a really, really long time. Um, okay. All right, I think that's about it for now. I am going to get myself settled and get myself into my day. Um, yeah, I guess I need to film a video for you and start another blanket. In addition to the split Christmas tree blanket or split Christmas tree skirt I'm working on, and also the blue little shawl thing I was working on that was supposed to be my mindless project that I decided was not what that took up too much energy, and so that one has been put on the side. And my stockinette stitch brown mindless project is here too. All right, so I will see you before 9 a.m. tomorrow is the plan, unless my 9 a.m. client cancels, but I'll plan on being here a few minutes before 9 a.m. tomorrow. And yeah, okay, I'll see you. I hope you have a great Thursday, valuable, relaxing use of your time, and that you get inspired by crochet to where you don't want to put it down. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye, Valencia. Bye, everyone. Thank you.